Although we will highlight the arrest of these suspects, we are first and foremost dedicated to seeking justice for victims. Today, we honor the memory of Rafael Rodriguez and remain committed to supporting his family and those others who have been left behind. On Friday, January 4th, before midnight, we responded to an armed robbery at Josephine's restaurant. During the robbery, various items were taken, including wallets, phones, cash, and jewelry. Rafael Rodriguez was shot and killed during this incident. A very unique Chopard watch was stolen from one of the victims during the robbery. Boca Raton detectives were able to track down the person who bought the watch, interviewed him, and recovered it. The buyer was able to provide information about the suspects, and the sale of the watch was captured on store surveillance. Phone records helped Boca Raton detectives gather more information about the suspect and their travels. An analysis of these records showed that they were exchanging calls before and on the night of the robbery homicide. Also showed that they were near the scene of the crime during the robbery. Later in January, the suspects traveled to Boca Raton to commit burglaries. Members of our tactical team, road patrol, and detectives were able to locate Samuel Walker, Adalberto Montalvo, and Quinton Sylvestre, and arrested them for burglary and grand theft. Search warrants were executed at various locations, and several items of evidence were seized. In particular, a backpack containing 3 firearms, a hockey mask, and shoes were recovered. Methodical forensic processing of the scene by crime scene investigators from Boca Raton was critically important to the development of this case. Shoe prints found at the scene matched the soles of a pair of shoes Boca Raton detectives had seized. We received confirmation from PBSO's firearms lab that one of the guns recovered fired the bullet that killed Rafael Rodriguez. Walker's DNA was found on and around the trigger of this gun. Walker's DNA was also found on the Chopard watch. On March 21st, detectives received results from swabs taken from inside the hockey mask. The DNA evidence connected Sylvestre to the mask. Blood evidence was identified on the shoes seized from Montalvo. This blood was linked to the victim, Rafael Rodriguez, through DNA analysis. Earlier today, Detective Chris Suarez personally went to the Palm Beach County Main Detention Center to file charges on the suspects. Samuel Walker Jr., Adalberto Montalvo, and Quinton Sylvestre have all been charged with first-degree murder and robbery with a firearm. In some investigations, there's that one lead that breaks open the case. The lead, in this case, came from one of our own. After learning about the Chopard watch, Patrol Officer Dave Rosenthal started checking around with some jewelers he knew to see if any of them might have information about this unique item. One of Officer Rosenthal's contacts was aware that someone was asking questions about the watch. After interviewing people of interest, we were able to identify the purchaser and subsequently the suspects in this case. Successful resolution of this case is the result of outstanding interagency cooperation, use of technology, great crime scene processing, and good old-fashioned police work. I'd like to thank all of our key partners, including the State Attorney's Office, PBSO, BSO. Again, our work is dedicated to the victims, particularly in this case, Rafael Rodriguez. He is gone but will not be forgotten. I'd like to turn it over to the State Attorney for a few comments.
Thank you, Chief Alexander. I just want to add a couple things. That when I first took over as State Attorney for Palm Beach County, the case I've been asked most about has been the murder at Josephine's. And so it's truly a moment of pride to be here today with hardworking officers and really tremendous cooperation between our agencies to make sure that the perpetrators have been arrested. And hopefully this will put the community somewhat at ease, and we're going to continue to work together to make sure that justice is done. I want to particularly commend a couple people in my office, Jill Richstone, who is a prosecutor in the combat unit now called Organized Crime. She and Billy Frazier, who's a top investigator in our office, work closely with the Boca Raton Police Department to conduct extensive interviews, to do late-night search warrants, and to investigate this case from beginning to now, and we will continue to work on it to make sure that justice is ultimately done. And with that, I want to say thank you, because the cooperation we received from the Boca Raton Police Department has been second to none, and we were able to move quickly and be here today because of their hard work. Thank you.
We covered a lot of information very quickly. You can see that this was an extremely complex case. The important thing to understand, too, is it's ongoing. We now proceed into a different phase after we filed charges, but there's still aspects of this case that are part of an ongoing investigation.